This time around, we have a seamless world, all right? A world without any loading time, a world where you can explore.
It's set in a city, a modern city, so it's set in present day. It's set in during one night, and you basically explore this modern city, and you explore Dracula's castle, which is part of the city. So the city has grown around the castle.
We have a free camera, which gives you the ability to look around and see if you missed anything. And we have a world that gets progressively opened.
As you progress through the story, you will get to explore new areas, and as the city becomes bigger, you'll need to teleport to and from the castle and the city, and you know, you find an item that allows you to do that.
And at the end, the whole world becomes connected.
This is a modern city that we haven't seen before in a video game, so you know, we're not going to drop Dracula in the middle of Times Square and, you know, sort of have him fumble around in New York or anything like that. This is a city very much that fits the Castlevania universe. You know, Gothic design. It's very much like you know, a regular European city like Madrid or even Cologne. You know, where you have kind of old and new together.
I think people is going to be both pleased and surprised about our take on how a modern Castlevania city would look like.
And that was key in the design choices that we made for the city, that it felt like a Castlevania game. And we wanted there to be a lot of variety in the environments, so it felt like it was different in everywhere that you went. Every time you turned a corner there was something new to see, something exciting to see, different lighting, different elements, you know, huge vistas, you know, really cool architecture, statues, that kind of stuff. We are in Spain, in an area called Castile, which is basically castle area, and there are a lot of castles here that we were able to take inspiration from. And of course, you know, Hungary and Eastern Europe and that kind of architecture has very much played into this as well. You know, Transylvania, Wallachia, those kind of areas that are referenced in the game. Many of the design choices that we took are taken directly from real buildings and real architecture.
We loved New York buildings, neoclassic buildings, and we thought that they were very, very suited for a Castlevania city.
I think one of the cool things about Castlevania in general, and certainly about Lords of Shadow, was having the enemies and the variety of enemies that you had. So I think there's lots of very unique boss battles in the game. You're going to see lots of new enemies and new characters that you haven't seen before. Especially, you know, being set in a modern era, having modern weaponry or modern enemies to go up against is an interesting proposition, especially when you have these kind of older swords and, you know, chaos claws and whips and stuff. You know, fighting modern weaponry is something I think that's going to be really exciting. Satan coming back to Earth, you know, is a real danger, and is something that's a threat that's there throughout the whole game. And you know, I have to say that Satan this time around, he knows that he's facing a very powerful foe. So he's ready. When he comes back, he's ready. And you know, it's a very different Satan to the one that we saw at the end of Lords of Shadow 1. Not just in design terms, but in terms of character, in terms of how he's evolved as a character and his motivations and the things that he wants to achieve in coming back to take over the world. So it's what's really cool is the confrontation between Dracula and Satan is very, very powerful. And I think it's going to really satisfy players to see the changes that we've made to Satan as a character.
The fury, your hate, and your vengeance. I am your